America is getting crazier and crazier by the day. Just yesterday, I reported to you all that now retail workers at stores like Ross and TJ Maxx are having to equip themselves with body cameras like some freaking police officers. And not just that, they have to wear these special reflective vests now too. And I don't know what the vests are even for. Are they padded to protect them from getting shanked prison style? Or maybe they have them wear reflective vests so when the police arrive on scene, when a shoplifter is fighting to the death with a Marshall's employee that's trying to stop them from stealing, the reflective vest makes it easier for officers to know who to arrest. And of course, the person they're going to be arresting will be the employee, because that's how things are happening in America right now. You can run into a store, smash and grab, no problem, but if someone tries to stop you, they'll get arrested for assault. America is just on the decline. And I really feel bad for kids these days as well. I don't know if you all remember when you were a kid, maybe when you were in elementary school. Remember when we used to have tornado drills? Remember how absolutely stupid tornado drills were? They would all of a sudden, they would put off the siren. Oh, it's a tornado drill. All kids go into the hallway and crouch on the ground. Put your butt up in the air and hold the back of your head. It was absolutely ridiculous. Tornado drills never made sense. Well, nowadays, kids have to have active pow-pow drills. Let's just call it that. We're going to call them pow-pow because I can't say the word that I want to say. I know you all know that word. But they have active pow-pow drills now at school. And speaking of drills, did you hear the crazy thing that just happened with those high school students up in Vermont? I believe it's Burlington, Vermont, if I'm not mistaken. Well, apparently some local police detectives, they were having a little seminar with these high school students, right? They were doing a little demonstration. Little did the high school students know that they were about to be a part of a mock pow-pow event. So in the middle of officers talking to these students, they started playing this recording over the speakers and the background behind the students, right? And the recording was of people screaming and shots being fired. So for the kids that are sitting in this room, they hear these sounds and it sounds like there's an active power in the building taking people out. People are screaming. It sounds like people are running around. Shots are being fired. So some of the kids, they start panicking. They're texting their parents what they think may be their last text message ever, letting them know, hey, I love you. There's a active power in the building. And then they even went so far as to have some dude with a fake pow and a mask on kicking the door, and he comes in there and these students are freaking traumatized. Now, none of it was real. It was all part of a mock event. But the kids nor the teachers had any idea that this was about to happen. And in today's world, I understand it's important for people to be prepared for reality. I guess there's an avenue, there's a conversation, an argument that can be had here that maybe this is a good thing to prepare kids for what might happen. But hell, you're traumatizing these kids, at the same time. And I'm not even I'm not a soft person. I came way before the Participation Trophy Society. I came way before everyone needs to be in touch with their feelings and worry about their emotions, okay? I come from a generation before that. But at the same time, or I don't know if it's a generation, but a time before that, but at the same time, I can acknowledge when you're taking things a little too far. And when you have these kids thinking that they're about to be freaking shot, I think that's taking things a little too far. But let's go ahead and roll this news clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
The Police Department and the Burlington School District are apologizing tonight to high school students after a presentation yesterday that involved a mock shooting situation. It was pretty scary.
At one point, students were listening to a detective when a man wearing a ski mask entered the room holding what looked like a real gun. NBC5's Tyler Baronski is live outside the police department tonight where the incident took place. And Tyler, you actually spoke to some students after school today.
Yes, Brian and Liz. Well, students say that they had no idea something like this was going to happen yesterday. Several of them say that they were frightened in the moment. Now they're just furious.
A presentation gone wrong when Burlington police officers staged a surprise demonstration on Wednesday with visiting Burlington high school students, bringing in a masked gunman who pretended to open fire.
I'd be a little upset if that happened to one of my kids.
Police say the demonstration was to show the unreliability of witness statements, but the lack of warning and the realistic sounds of the fake gunshots had students taking cover and shaking. One student told us they even texted their parents out of fear for the worst. BPD issuing a statement on Thursday saying the Burlington Police Department apologizes to any students in attendance who were upset by the specific scenario and crime scene portion of the presentation. The Burlington School District explaining in an email to parents that police did explain to them the realistic nature of the demonstration and that teachers were aware this might happen. What they didn't expect was this mock situation happening without any heads-up warning or without a chance for them to properly prepare students, stating that after the demonstration, it was clear that students and staff were negatively impacted. Oliver Pearson has 2 kids in the South Burlington School District. He feels for the teenagers and parents involved and that there has to be a different method police could have taken to get their point across.
They could have still had that surprise effect maybe they're looking for, but without sort of the trauma of subjecting the kids to that.
Chittenden State Rep Troy Hedrick's district includes Burlington. He believes the demonstration was inappropriate regardless of proper warning.
I'm beside myself to understand how anybody could have thought that that was an appropriate thing, training exercise to even develop, approve, deliver.
Burlington Mayor Emma Mulvaney Stanek agrees and plans to advise police on a different approach.
I would much prefer an anti-violence and a trauma-informed approach in exposing kids to law enforcement careers.
Mulvaney Stanek hopes the police department and the school district learn lessons from this moment.
Instead of talking about generally scenarios, I would be very specific about what entailed in the learning scenario. And I hope that the school district could also ask more questions and learn from this as well.
Now, BBD will be discussing the presentation and its impact with students and staff tomorrow. Mulvaney Stanek plans to meet with Burlington Police Chief John Murad on Monday.
Now, when I first saw this story, the first thing I immediately thought was, where in the hell did this happen? Because this can't happen in certain areas. You can't stage a mock pow-powing in a random, Chicago high school in the inner city, because you will likely be killed. You couldn't even do this in certain parts of the South because you never know what the kids might be packing. Listen, when I was going to school, it wasn't too uncommon for kids to be caught with a gun. Not that they were there to do anything crazy like how kids are doing now, but people sometimes just had it on them, or they had it in their car in the parking lot, or they had it in their freaking locker. It wasn't too uncommon. So if you tried to bust into the door with the mask on doing something like this, you might get pow-powed your damn self. And I hate having to keep saying that word like I'm a toddler, but that's how YouTube makes us speak. But I guess the debate is this taking things too far? And in my opinion, it is. I think that most kids, I don't know how it is to be a kid these days, but I think with the at the rate that these type of events are happening, I think most kids go to school every day with the realization that they may be caught in something like this. You know what I mean? And I don't know how I would feel as a parent if my child was put through this. But I'm not a parent yet. But I want to hear from you all who are parents. If your kid came home and he had been put through something like this, or imagine you're at work and you get that text from your child. You know what I mean? The text that no parent wants to get. You get that text from your child that they're afraid for their life. They're telling you they love you. They think that they might not be here moments from now. They may be gone. They may be a goner, right? Imagine the trauma, and trauma is not even a word I use a lot, but imagine the trauma that would inflict not only on your child, but on you as well. Only to find out it's because the local police just decided, hey, today's a good day to stage a mock pow pow event and just scare the living crap out of all of these kids. But, folks, this is where America is going. You got body cams on the retail workers at Marshall's and TJ Maxx. You got mock freaking school pow pow events at your local high schools. Kids being traumatized one way or the other. That's one thing about school these days. They're going to traumatize your kid one way or the other. And I feel so bad because I think nowadays a lot of people are starting to homeschool their kids. And even though public school had its ups and downs, I appreciated my school experience. I appreciated coming in contact with all different types of people, you know, and the relationships and friendships that were built throughout, you know, elementary, middle, high school. And I really wish kids could get that full experience, even though it can be crappy for some kids sometimes. I think it builds character. I think it builds social skills. And I really hate that so many kids are being traumatized these days at school. Like I said, if they're not going to push some type of weird ideology or some creepy type stuff on you, they're going to traumatize you one way or the other. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this. How do you feel about this overall? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you think that this is something we're going to start seeing more often? I think that with it, right now, this is still kind of controversial. But I wouldn't be surprised if 4 or 5 years down the line, this becomes a normal thing. Where every high school does a mock pow-powing or two a year just to keep the kids on their toes for when the real thing happens. It's sad. It's sad. I laugh because to stop myself from crying. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.